beer. This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we have a great Power Pundit panel. As always, Mike Bosma is here. He's the managing partner with the Bosma Group. Nick Vanderpool, political consultant, and Bob Kroll, mayor of Carson City. Pleasure to have all of you here.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. A couple of days ago, Barbara Vukanovich pretty much threw John Ensign under the bus on this program. She said, I'm extremely disappointed in him and frankly very surprised because I think that isn't the character that everybody thought he was. I'm very, very disappointed. He certainly had to back away from much of what he was doing in the leadership position he has. I haven't seen a great demonstration of him doing very much. I think it's going to be very difficult for the Republican to come back. Your thoughts on this, Bob?
Well, I think that the human condition and human nature has always been frail throughout history, and you know, generally people will forgive that. The other side of that is if you make it an issue in your own personal life, then the old saying, live by the sword, die by the sword. And so, you know, Barbara's got a point. Barbara Vukanovich has got a point.
Well, Nick, what about just the other day, and you were on it, the Nightline interview with Doug Hampton. You were shown
just as B-roll. He was
just B-roll. Yeah, I was not involved at all.
But you know, your picture was on the pre-up to it as part of it was from the GOP convention.
Correct.
This Doug Hampton interview on Nightline, although not a lot is new, it was a very damning interview as far as Senator Ensign is concerned, and this was just not a Nevada thing. This is boom, this is nationwide. What does that Nightline interview do to his chances of remaining in the Senate?
Well, I believe that Senator Ensign will remain in the Senate. He will continue his term. Simple as that. And this interview, obviously, as you said, nothing new. I just believe he just keeps on throwing bait out in the water, and whoever bites on it, he gets the interview. Disappointment with Senator Ensign, yes, but as long as he keeps doing the work and representing Nevada, he's doing the job. Now, personal opinion from people and their disappointment, yeah, it kind of goes back and forth. My personal opinion on it is not so much Doug and Senator Ensign, it's Cindy Hampton, and it's like, you know, she could have said no, but she kept, you know, when John said, you know, when she asked for, when she got the call, it wasn't like she was going for a cup of coffee. She knew up front. She could have said no, and they could have took a lot of different turns.
Well, now you're blaming the woman for this when the senator, this is a sitting senator having a sexual relationship with the wife of his chief of staff, and this wife does work for his office. Why
didn't she file sexual harassment?
What's that?
Why didn't she file sexual harassment?
Well, maybe she was afraid that because John Ensign controls her life and her family's life so much.
Well, I think that's what gets, when you strip away the politics, I think what you talk about there is the issue of that type of behavior in a more general sense, because it's difficult for women to step out in a situation like that. And you're right. I mean, you know, so you got to think about that.
Yeah. I guess my real question is not about the private life, but about the public life. How effective can Senator Ensign continue to be?
Well, and that's really the issue, isn't it? I mean, you know, his private life is tanking down his credibility and clout that he has. And that's really, leadership is really about sacrificing yourself for your constituency. And if you don't want to do that, if you want to be egocentric, then, you know, particularly at that level, that's not the place to be. And so that's where, yeah, he needs to get a slap on the hand. He's going to be ineffective. Whether or not there's somebody else that can come in and be more effective than him, even in his weakened state, it's just Nevada needs strong leaders right now. And, you know, leaders don't sacrifice their constituency.
And that was one of the things that Congresswoman Vukanovich was complaining about, was the lack of leadership in the Republican Party. It was interesting to see that she kind of threw Brian Sandoval under the bus as well, stating that she was going to support Governor Gibbons. Your thoughts on that?
You know, I think it's also fair. You know, you know, which is not necessarily surprising from the senator, but or that she would go. I should say that it's not necessarily surprising that she would go that way, but I think right now there's a vacuum in leadership, and that is there's nobody on the Nevada side that's really stepping forward and saying, you know, this is what it's going to take to fix Nevada. And there's a lot of stone throwing no question, but there's really nobody with the answer, and I think it's the answer that's going to get elected.
Your thoughts, Nick?
Basically, I agree with you, and
And you're a former employee of the state.
Yeah, exactly, and so I sit there. I've worked for Senator Ensign and I've worked for Governor Gibbons. So, looking at, you bring up a valid point in the leadership in the Republican Party. I mean, yes, the Republican Party did just elect Chris Comfort as the new chairman. What Chris brings to the table as the new chairman, we'll see. But in terms of the person to look to, that person right now who is doing anything is Dean Heller. And hopefully Dean, his opponents aren't as strong as they say, and which I doubt they are. But Dean is that person people are turning to rally the base.
11 months to go, Ray, do they have enough time?
I don't know. This Ensign thing, getting back to this, it really disturbs me that our senator did this. I mean, it's not like he had a affair with an intern in the Oval Office or anything. This was the wife of his best friend, and to have that infidelity with your wife of the best friend, I think a lot of Nevadans say that's where I draw the line, and that's why I think that Ensign is going to have a tough time. I mean, his new nickname is Toast, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, and that's where you got to leave it. Gentlemen, we'll be right back to Nevada Newsmakers after this.
I'm attorney Marilyn York. We only seek men as clients. If you are a man burdened by divorce, please visit our website at www.
As always, you can watch Nevada Newsmakers 24 hours a day at NevadaNewsmakers.com.
Thanks, and coming up next week we have Lynn Warney, Heidi Gansert, and Pat Lundvall.
We'll see you on the next broadcast. Thanks for watching and listening.